professionals is a step in the right direction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thank the member, and I call Jim Allister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's no doubt that our schools are in a very fraught situation, and I know that as Chair of the Board of Governors of my local primary school, and I declare that. And equally, there's no doubt that the present situation has not been functioning adequately, if at all. But listening to some speakers in this debate who seem intent on whipping up the fear of safety of our schools, I do have to say it sounds as if some would rather our schools were closed than anything else. And that has to be fundamentally wrong. Now, this hokey-cokey business of being tested, out to test, back in, out to test it is not working. I'm sure, like many other members, I've had so many parents in touch. One who told me their P6 pupil sent home on Friday for a test which took place on Sunday. On Monday, their P4 pupil sent home for a test. On Tuesday, their P2 pupil sent home for a test. And on Tuesday afternoon, the P6 pupil sent home for another test. Now, Mr. Chambers made a very pertinent point when he alluded to the trauma of that on young children who in most cases are going to be COVID-free, and yet they are subjected to the invasive test, building within them a mountain of fear. And that, I think, is an increasing problem. I've had parents talk to me on the basis, my child was terrorised by that, they won't go back to school, they don't want to go back to school, they're scared of another, and the parent's scared. If there's another test required, what happens? So we are dealing with tender young lives here, and I think it's easy sometimes to forget that. If our schools are to be open, and clearly they should be, then the presumption must be that children attend school. And therefore, I would have thought, yes, it might be more radical, I would have thought that the approach should be that a child that has symptoms is tested. If it's positive, it stays at home for the 10 days. But the other children continue to attend school. If they show symptoms, they are tested. And thereby we maintain a continuity of attendance for the far greater number within our school. And we alleviate our teachers of many of the impossible burdens put upon them. I welcome the fact that the PHA is now going to do it, but I still have that residual query. Are the teachers not still going to have the administrative burden of supplying all the administrative work to the PHA? How is that going to work? So I think it's important that we hear answers from the Minister on that specific. But I do say to this House that we should be putting first and foremost the education with the safety of our children. And I do believe that our schools overwhelmingly are safe locations for our children. And therefore this idea that at the first sign of someone anywhere in the class or school having any sort of symptom, it's everyone out. I don't think that is working, nor will it work. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we now bring the member Claire Sugden on screen?